In the period when the Moratorium Steering Committee was meeting, do you remember that any particular issues that were hugely controversial with the members of the Fisheries Association? Was there much discussion, and did fishermen feel like they were part of that process?
Well, that was during a lot of the turtle discussions. You know, that really had nothing to do with the moratorium leading to the Moratorium Steering Committee, but it was certainly on the minds of a lot of commercial fishermen, because that issue was on the table when I started here. It was the sea turtle issue and the trawlers, and that was when the turtle excluder devices were still being tested. They were not mandated at that time, and so the Endangered Species Act and sea turtle protection was certainly in the mix. At that time, we were talking about limiting the fly netting industry because of weak fish, juvenile weak fish. That was a very contentious issue. So issues like that, speckled trout, that was contentious. It was just a number of issues that were on the table at that time. But the biggest issue was that of controlling effort, and the fear that it was going to, the numbers of commercial fishermen were going to rise drastically for whatever reason. In 1995, there was a bill that was introduced to ban nets in North Carolina. It didn't go anywhere.
So it'd be fair to say that whole period when the Moratorium Steering Committee was meeting, there were issues that maybe they weren't specifically addressing, or maybe they should have been addressing but didn't address?
No, the Moratorium Steering Committee wasn't formed to address species or anything like that. It was addressed to talk about the Marine Fisheries Commission, just for an example. My Lord, there were 17 members of the Marine Fisheries Commission. So they had speakers come in from various states to talk about how their fisheries were regulated. You had speakers come in from Sea Grant. They're from all over to talk about how their states do this, that, and the other. And so they came up with reducing the numbers of Marine Fisheries Commission members to what we have today. In the process, and adopting fishery management plans, we didn't really have that process prior to that, and I still have the pen that Governor Hunt gave me, and he gave Dick Brame a pen. Dick Brame then was executive director of the CCA of North Carolina. We were both at this signing ceremony. I think Dick probably was smiling more at that ceremony than I was.
But did the Fisheries Association support the Fisheries Reform Act?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We weren't real pleased with all the provisions that were in the Fisheries Reform Act, but it was a compromise document.